Good evening, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. My wish is, I wish that the governments, religious groups, civic organizations in Africa and the Caribbean will work together to bring about peace in all the communities throughout the continent of Africa and the Caribbean region. I wish that all those who are embarking because of greed, the Islamic attacks in Nigeria, motivated by terrorists, the gang violence in several of our Caribbean nations, and the exploitations by those in powerful positions, the inconsistencies in the security systems and governments throughout the African continent, that the leaders will work together to make the continent of Africa, that the leaders and the community stakeholders in the Caribbean will work together so that we will have peace in these regions of the world.
Thank you for sharing your wish with all of us. Ringing of the bell. Please raise the mallet high to declare your wish for peace to the whole world. Ringing at the bottom of the bell will present the most powerful yet gentle sound. First ring to benefit all living things and travel on the right path. Second ring for global harmony and sustainability. Third ring for everyone's conscience to be awakened and for all to enjoy peace and security. Congratulations, you're now the 439th bell ringer in the world. Thank you for sharing your wish and commitment with all of us. Let us work together to make it come true.
A pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen. May you say good evening. It is my distinguished honor to express deep sentiments and congratulations to Dr. Hong, the President of the World Federation of Peace, and to all those who are responsible for having me here. I am currently serving in the capacity of as the President of the Caribbean and African Faith-Based Leadership Conference, and currently engaged in planning our 2022 African and Caribbean International Leadership Awards, which is Thursday next week at the National Press Club. I want to use this opportunity to thank the organizers for releasing me to be here, as I almost missed this wonderful occasion. I want to thank all those in my church, the People's Community Baptist Church, all my associates from Howard University and elsewhere for the impact you all have in my life. Now is the time for me to give my expressions in regards to peace. Favoritism towards others has been a primary divisive factor that continues to generate concerns for peace within our religious and secular arena. Some of the main causes of human-inflicted tragedies, racial and ethnic segregation, imperialism, and class discrimination emerges from partiality, greed, social inequality, which continues to impact individuals within our religious and secular arena. People of the African and Caribbean region knows what it means to experience the opposite of peace. The opposite of peace is war. The opposite of peace is social conflicts. The opposite of peace leads to inhumane tragedies. The opposite of peace leads to human rights violation, civil crisis, disharmony. It leads to individuals living in internally displaced camps throughout Africa, the IDBs. The opposite of peace causes us to have refugee settlements all over the world. A perfect example are the refugees from Ukraine. The people of the African continent knows what it is to be refugees, to be strangers living in foreign lands. And many of the people from the continent are here in the United States of America because of social conflicts and wars within our countries. If there is not a time when we need to advocate for peace, it is now. May I say to you, ladies and gentlemen, peace is paramountly important to our human existence as oxygen is to life. Without peace, we will continue to have discrimination. We will continue to have wars and conflicts among governments. And I am using this opportunity to challenge every single individual here who is a community stakeholder, who is a religious leader, an elected official, a nation leader, to do your utmost best to make the world a better place in the fight for peace. Without justice, there is no peace. And without peace, there is no justice. I want to congratulate you for what you're doing. I want to encourage you for what you're doing. I want to partner with you in any way I possibly can. I am responsible for an event that is happening on Thursday, where we have gotten President Biden's office to sign 100 awards, which will be presented on Thursday at the National Press Club. The first time in the history of the United States, 100 folks from our multicultural black community will be receiving the U.S. President's Lifetime Achievement Awards. This is happening because there are many among them, including some of your honorees tonight, who will be receiving that award because they have volunteered in the fight for peace. One more thing, our organization, the Caribbean and African Faith-Based Conference, we have been familiar with the conflicts across Africa. I have traveled to Benue State when they killed 3 years ago 110 persons on Christmas Eve through religious violence. And I have witnessed the dangers. We have sponsored activists, religious leaders to come to the U.S. and advocate at the office of the Department of State, the Office of Democracy, Human Rights, and Civilian Security. We have facilitated many dialogues at the United States Congress and the White House. As a liaison to the White House for Africa and the Caribbean, I know what it is, to the importance to be a voice. And I'm challenging you, let us speak truth in two ways. Let us unite in speaking truth to power, but let us also speak truth to the powerless, to the gang leaders, to the politicians, to the corrupt police, the corrupt national security leaders across our nations, and make peace. And most importantly, without God's intervention, without dependency on the wisdom and the inspiration from God Almighty, we will never have peace. Peace is something that every religious group, every ethnic group, every nation and every race desires. The way to do this is strive with all that is within you, in your word, in your effort, your thought and deed, to be faithful to the life that God has called you to live. Thank you.
And the first gift is the Certificate of World Peace Spirituality Award. The President of the Federation of World Peace and Love, Dr. Hong, has the pleasure to present the FOWPAL World Peace Spirituality Award to Reverend Dr. Dike in recognition of his dedication to promoting humanitarianism and interfaith dialogue. And next is the medal and the ribbon of honor to represent our friendship and to thank you for the work that you have done. The crystal pyramid that represents the visionary leaders who are selflessly loving and dedicating their work to promote goodwill in the world. And the crystal itself symbolizes the pure heart that stems from our conscience. Yeah, we got to get all the angles on the right, the middle, and the left. Thank you so much, Dr. Reverend Dike.